If you know Afrobeat music, you know Fela Kuti. And if you study African literature, you know the Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka. These two towering figures shared a household, a bloodline, and a matriarch, yet the woman who raised them and shaped their worldview is often reduced to a footnote in global history. To understand the creation of modern Nigeria, we have to look past these famous sons and examine the architect who actually built their political and cultural foundation. Imagine walking into a dimly lit Abeokuta basement in the 1970s, staring at a mountain of unorganized, deteriorating documents. As this text explains, when historians finally sat down to organize these papers and write her biography, they hit a strange roadblock. They didn't actually know what to call her. She was born Frances Abigail Funmilayo Thomas, but as she moved through the world, her peers and the public granted her an evolving series of distinct titles. Tracking these specific names tells us exactly how she built, wielded, and ultimately secured her political power. Her story starts here. This map shows the deeply rooted culture of the Egba Yoruba, a major subgroup of the Yoruba people in southwestern Nigeria, in the early 1900s. This document notes her first historical breakthrough. She was the very first female student to attend the Abeokuta Grammar School. Because of this, she earned the affectionate nickname Bere, a Yoruba term meaning firstborn daughter. Long before she led strikes or challenged the British Empire, she was already a respected local pioneer in education. But the classroom was too small for her ambition. She formed and tactically mobilized the Abeokuta Women's Union, turning it into a massive grassroots coalition. They took aim at a dual threat: the entrenched patriarchal rules of local traditions and the extractive tax systems imposed by the British colonial administration. The climax of this movement was a direct, coordinated campaign against the Alake of Abeokuta, the local ruling monarch. They forced him into exile. During this fierce anti-monarchy campaign, the press gave her a new title, the Lioness of Lisabi. Her victory was so definitive that it was immortalized in local historical pamphlets like this publication, commemorating the fall of a ruler. She proved that organized women could successfully overthrow a sovereign king. Having toppled a local king, the lioness turned her attention to the international stage. She joined official nationalist delegations to London, negotiating the terms of an independent future for Nigeria. She also built global alliances, taking a leadership role in the Women's International Democratic Federation, an anti-fascist pro-women's rights organization active during the Cold War. This diplomatic work required her to travel extensively, including highly controversial trips to communist countries like the Soviet Union and China. When criticized for crossing these ideological lines, she famously argued that she suffered the political blowback so that future generations would have the freedom to move and ally globally. She demanded a voice across continents, adopting a philosophy she called being a true citizen, rejecting colonial borders entirely. Which brings us back to that decaying basement archive. For years, the physical record of her life was left precarious and deteriorating. She passed away in 1978. The crumbling state of these documents mirrors a broader reality. Women's revolutionary history is incredibly easy to erase from the mainstream narrative if it isn't actively preserved. In this table of contents from her biography, the authors use a specific quote to frame her life: "We too form a multitude." But Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti was a multitude all on her own. She is impossible to reduce to a single title or a single political movement. Historical accounts often try to categorize women into safe, singular roles: the mother, the teacher, the local activist. But her legacy demands we view her in totality: a local educator, a king-toppling lioness, and an international architect of freedom.